Hello again, I'm Matthew from thewetpen.com, and today I'd like to show you 3 different examples of a fountain pen model from the Indian brand Lotus. Lotus makes some of the very best fountain pens from India. Reliable, beautiful pens that can truly compete with pens from anywhere in the world. Some of you may remember the video that I made a few years ago about my first Lotus pen, the Lotus Everest, which is made out of a gorgeous blue starry sky resin from Conway Stewart, and it remains one of my favorite fountain pens. Today though, I'm going to show you the Lotus Shikhar. There are several different variations of this model, but the first one that I'll show you is an ebonite piston filler. This one is an interesting reddish-brown ebonite with a matte finish and black hardware. The name Shikhar comes from Sanskrit and means peak or pinnacle, and when you feel how well these pens are made, it's not hard to understand why. At the top of this black clip, there's a Lotus logo, but I've owned this pen for nearly a year now, and it's begun to wear off with use. Here at the bottom of the pen, the end cap twists to operate the piston mechanism, which feels very smooth and solid. You can see the piston in the ink window here, and when it's not in use, this cap blends almost seamlessly into the body. These piston fillers are also available with no ink window, and you can also get the pens with cartridge converters instead for a slightly lower price. Here in this pen sleeve, I have another one, although this one is purchased from Peyton Street Pens here in the US rather than directly from Lotus. And this one is the same Shikhar model, a piston filler with a window, but here you can see what the ebonite looks like with a polished finish instead, and a silver clip. When ordering this piston filler, you can choose the color of the clip and the nib, and you can choose from 14 different Japanese Nikko ebonites and 11 Conway Stewart acrylics. And the Shikhar is also available in a variety of other materials: ultem, buffalo horn, brass, standard acrylics, and more expensive finishes like Raiden and Urushi, all kinds of stuff. The cap unscrews in 2 full turns on this pen, but about 1.5 on the blue one. And underneath the cap here, you can see that the grip section is made of the same ebonite. And it tapers smoothly down from the threads to the nib, where there's a little lip at the end. And that's the same on both pens. The threads are wonderfully smooth and they're comfortable if you happen to grip them. And the section tapers down from 13.5 millimeters to about 12. The nib on this pen is black coated like the clip. This is a steel Jowo No. 6 nib with no decoration. And if I turn this over, it has the standard Jowo plastic feed. And as you'd expect, the blue pen with the silvery clip has a polished steel nib. Again, no logo this time, but sometimes they do have a laser-etched logo. And these nibs are both good solid examples of Jowo broad nibs. Smooth and reliable, no problems at all, and nothing unexpected here. If you'd like a little more character, then some custom grinds are also available, but I haven't ordered them myself. The cap of this model does post, and it posts deeply and securely. But the combination of the cap's weight and also the piston mechanism do make this pen a bit heavy, so writing with the cap posted is probably only going to be comfortable for those of you with larger hands. With the cap on but no ink, This pen weighs about 41 grams. For comparison, a TWSBI Eco, which is also a piston filler, weighs about 20 grams. And a Pilot Custom 823, which is a vac filler, weighs about 30 grams. And when it comes to the size of the pen, here it is next to that TWSBI Eco and the Pilot Custom 823, and it's a little larger than both of them. And for my Indian viewers, here it is next to a Click Aristocrat and a Ranga Splendor, which is a larger pen. But I also have a third Lotus Shikhar, and this one is unusual. This pen arrived in this wooden box from the Indian retailer Makoba, and inside is another Lotus Shikhar, but this one was made for a Kanwrite No.9 sized nib, which is normally only found in the Kanwrite Mammoth fountain pen. So this is a larger pen than the other two all around. It's longer and a little thicker and has a slightly larger clip. This one is not a piston filler, so there's no ink window, and the body material is the red Stardust acrylic from Conway Stewart. The cap comes off in about 2 turns, and underneath, the grip section is exactly the same as the other pens, but a bit larger, tapering from about 14.6 down to about 13.7 millimeters. And here is that massive No.9 sized nib. And turning it over, you can see the feed is an equally giant ebonite one. This is just like the one found in the Kanwrite Mammoth. I'll just unscrew the grip section here, and you can see that the pen uses the same cartridge system as the Mammoth and a few other pens too. This thing probably forced Lotus to make this pen longer than a standard Shikhar. And this pen also accepts these ink cartridges. You can actually buy packs of 5 or 10 of these things for these pens if you want to fill them up with ink and then carry them around with you when you travel, which is pretty cool. They have a cap that unscrews on one end and then screws onto the other end for storage. I wonder how large this nib is compared to the Junlai 930. Let's take a look. Pretty similar actually. The Junlai has a lot more of the nib exposed, so it looks longer, but they're actually about the same width, and the feeds are different styles, but the same diameter. I wonder if I could swap these nibs. I'll have to save that for another video. For now, let me show you how this Lotus writes. This red is my Everett Massacre #1, and as you'd expect from a big ebonite feed like this, the flow is pretty nice and wet. I mentioned that this is a pretty big pen, so let me show it to you with some of my other large Indian pens for a comparison. Actually, I'll start with this Junlai 930, which has a big nib, but the pen itself isn't that huge. And here's a Ranga Splendor. Now here it is with a Kanwrite Mammoth and a Ranga Beam. Several of my favorite pens, the ones that I use the most, never really make it into videos on this channel because I'm always just using them. And I'd say that for the past 3 years or so, the pen that I've used the most often, most regularly, was this ebonite Narwhal Nautilus. I've taken it all over the world and it pretty much always has a waterproof blue ink in it. But as soon as I bought this Lotus piston filler, I haven't really used the Narwhal at all, and this Shikhar has been continuously inked and carried around. It's now pretty much my everyday carry workhorse, and I love it. I really like this Nautilus, but I don't like the fact that it doesn't post. If you want one, you can buy them directly from the Lotus Pens website, You don't need to navigate WhatsApp conversations or sketchy bank transfers. They do accept PayPal. Or you can order some really cool ones from Makoba too. And that's it. I have another Lotus pen that I'm reviewing right now. Maybe I'll publish both videos at the same time, but my next video after that will be about a couple of domestic handmade pens. And as you can tell, I'm back home from Mexico now, and I'll be starting to produce my new inks again over the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for updates on my channel here, or you can sign up for email notifications on my website, thewetpen.com. Take care out there, everyone, and enjoy your fountain pens and ink. I'll see you next time.